Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to a special edition of Movie Goodness here on the KB Radio Network. This is my review of Prime Video's brand new series from the creator of the film Sorry to Bother You, Boots Riley. I'm a Virgo. This show stars Jarrell Jerome in the starring role. Jarrell Jerome, we may know from When They See Us, that was on Netflix. He won an Emmy for his performance in that show. Mike Epps, Walton Goggins, and Olivia Washington, Kara Young, Brett Gray. This is a show that is very obscure and very weird. And if you ever seen Sorry to Bother You, it's in that vein. It's a very weird show, and weird in a good way. You're gonna hear me say weird a lot through this review, so I'm letting you know in case it gets aggravating. I'm warning you. I'm gonna say weird a lot because I don't have another adjective to describe it. But trust me, it's coming from a place of love because I enjoyed this show. The premise to I'm a Virgo is Cootie is a 13-foot tall 19-year-old black man raised by his aunt and uncle in Oakland, California. He is shielded from the outside world until being accidentally discovered by a group of teenage political activists. And that description merely scratches the surface of what this 7-episode series really is. It is an attack on capitalism, very socially conscious. It is a social commentary on what the world is experiencing today and what what we have been dealing with for decades, and it really dives into it, shielded, or should I say presented in this kind of crazy concept of a of a show. Just imagine Clifford. You remember Clifford the Big Red Dog, that cartoon or that comic strip? Just imagine that, but with a black teenager. That's what this is. The star of this show, as I said earlier, Gerald Jerome, who was one of the stars of When They See Us and Moonlight, and just the past couple of weeks, he was the voice of Miles Morales in Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Not the Miles Morales that we know, but Miles Morales at the end of that movie when they had the two different versions. Spoilers, whatever. But I'm pretty sure it's been spoiled by now. I see it all over social media. But that was him as the voice of the Miles Morales in Earth 42, I believe. But Gerald Jerome is a very good actor. I would even say great. I absolutely love him and everything that he's in. Um, when They See Us was the one that did it for me. I was so impressed with him in that role because unlike the other actors in that film, or I'm sorry, in that miniseries that was on Netflix, he had the most to do in that show. And man, I was super impressed with him. I'm glad that he was recognized by the Emmys and won an Emmy award for that performance. It was outstanding, and I think it's a crime that he it's a crime that filmmakers and producers have not put him in more stuff, or maybe it's a creative decision from him. I don't know. I don't know the reason why, but I believe he needs to be in more properties. It don't have to be big blockbuster films, but I would love to see more of Gerald Jerome, an outstanding actor, and it's proof positive in this show. He plays this 13-foot tall teenager, and he plays him with a sense of innocence, yet intelligence, and strength, yet vulnerability, all at the same time. And that takes skill. It is it's hard to do that. A lot of actors who are in these shows or in movies can only do one of those things at a time. And he did, he does all of that at the same time. You immediately get behind him. You immediately cheer on his character. And speaking of the actors, while we're on acting, Walton Goggins as Jay Whittle, aka the hero. In this show, he portrays a comic book creator who uses his character from the comic books to patrol the streets of Oakland. And his character is so layered. And I love Walton Goggins as well. He's another one of those. Doesn't matter what he's in. You've seen him in comedies, you've seen him in dramas. I mean, the comedies, Vice Principals that was on HBO, the Righteous Gemstones that's on HBO, funny shows, and he's hilarious in them. But he's also done these kind of deep dramas, Justified, that show that was on FX. He was amazing on that show. That's when I really became a fan of Walton Goggins. Also, The Hateful Eight, Django Unchained. He has been in some awesome films, and he understood the assignment in every single one, and he understood it here as well. But the elephant in the room here was something I discovered while watching this show. The character of Flora, who is the love interest to Cootie, works at this burger joint, and kind of has this superpower, you know, that she moves really fast. That character, I was about 2 or 3 episodes in, and I was scratching my head like, boy, she looks familiar. Boy, she looks familiar. Her name is Olivia Washington, and I'm like, man, I've seen her on something or something. I don't know what it is. It was something about her. Normally, I wait till after to Google, when I get stumped like that, but I had to know. And so I hurried up and Googled Olivia Washington, and I should have known by the last name. She's the daughter of Denzel Washington. I'm like, what? Didn't even know he had a daughter. I know that he had a son. He's been in some films, John David Washington, but I didn't know about Olivia Washington. And I think this is her first role. I'm not 100% certain on that, but this is my first time being exposed to her, and I was shocked. And she did an excellent job. You can tell, yep, that's Denzel's daughter. Once I figured it out, and once I found out, should I say, and watched her throughout the show, oh, yep. Yep, that's Denzel's daughter. I mean, really good. That is talent that is in their genes. John David Washington is an awesome actor. Of course, Denzel, and it didn't skip her. She did an awesome job here as well. I enjoyed the entire cast. The cast was well put together. Omar Epps delivered here. Carmen Joko, I believe that's how I say her name. I'm pretty sure I butchered it. She did an awesome job. Every character in this film, or every actor, should I say, in this show, did an amazing job. And they did an amazing job with this screenplay, which didn't stray from the surreal. This was a very, as I said before, weird show. You're dealing with 14 or 13-foot giants. You're dealing with super fast, super speedsters here, but not like the Flash, should I say. But you have that. You have the character of Jones, who is portrayed by Carol Young, who has a way to kind of display this. I don't know how to describe it. It's like a box. I think they described it on the show like a think box or something, when she's giving her speeches, and really makes you feel it visually. You can talk. Like right now, I'm talking to y'all, but if you don't know visually what I'm talking about, you'd be kind of lost. But she has a way to display that. It's like you're in another dimension when she's talking, and whatever she's talking or describing is displayed. And it was really cool how they did it. First time they did it on the show, I was kind of taken aback, but I went into this knowing that we're going to get some some strange visuals in this show because of Boots Riley, but it paid off. I really enjoyed it. The comedy worked. The weirdness worked. It actually worked. It didn't take away from the story, as I was saying before, what the message of this movie was. Oh, this show. I keep calling it a movie. This show. It felt like a movie because it's 7 episodes, but every episode is about 30 minutes long. I think the longest one was maybe 40 minutes. But you know, me and the family, we sat down in one sitting. We went through the whole season, but it was very, very well put together. It at one point, the Walton Goggins character is in this conference, and they were discussing art, and he gives this speech about how all art is propaganda, and the speech that he was giving was basically explaining or giving expedition on this show, you know, that this is art, this is propaganda, and the propaganda here was poking holes through capitalism. And it's something that I didn't really think you can do visually or interesting in this manner. But Collins. I'm thinking about Bootsy Collins from Parliament. No, Boots Riley did an excellent job here. I had to take a second and, after the show ended, before I did my review, and really contemplate on how I was going to discuss this ultimately. And I wanted to do it justice, because if I would have just jumped right in and reviewed it, I probably wouldn't have gave it as much love as I'm prepared to give it today. But this is a very good show. It is very poignant, and I believe it is one of the best shows to come out this year. I'm shocked by this. I'm truly shocked, and I'm not to say that I went into it thinking it was going to be a stinker. I'm just shocked on how this show got me thinking, and I'm hoping and praying that everyone who watches it experience that same feeling. Really sit back and look at how things are in this country. It's not so much about race and all this here. Is really about the rich and the poor. Now race does play a factor in that, and that is displayed in this show, but it is a crisis of capitalism that Boots Riley is diving into here, and made me realize some things, made me look at some things differently. And this was a strong message hidden within this obscure comedy show that is on Prime Video. I mean, bravo, man. Bravo to Boots Riley. I can't wait to see what's next from this brother. This is an excellent show. I highly recommend it. I'm a Virgo, which is currently available on Prime Video. All 7 episodes gets a letter grade of a B+. Excellent show. It was really good. Really good. The only knocks I have on it's maybe a couple of episodes in the middle that kind of that was kind of unnecessary. There were some storylines that went nowhere, but I'm optimistic that maybe they planning for a second season, and those storylines that were set up and were abandoned in this season plays out in next season. So, or maybe I didn't read into the message there. That's a possibility too. Maybe I missed that one, focusing on the big picture of it all. Maybe I missed the little one there. But overall, still, even with that, excellent show. I highly recommend it. Check out I'm a Virgo on Prime Video right now. All 7 episodes are available for you. I would like to know, did you discover I'm a Virgo on Prime Video? Did you know this was coming out? Because it really went under the radar for me. I would like to know, do you plan to watch it? If you have watched it, how did you feel about it? Did you get the message that was being displayed here? email the show, kbradiopodcast@gmail.com. You could also look me up on Twitter at KB Radio Network and on other social media platforms. Just look up the KB Radio Network. Also, we're on YouTube. Don't forget, subscribe to the KB Radio Network channel. Give this video a like as well. Don't forget about the 5 stars, the reviews, and sharing this show. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever it is, you're currently listening to Movie Goodness on the KB Radio Network. Everybody, thank you for joining me for this review of the Prime Video series, I'm a Virgo. Hope you check it out. Hope you continue to check out this show as well. I want you all to know that I love you. Continue to love one another. And until we speak again, you all be blessed.